Hi everyone, you're very welcome to the Hot Seat with Louise. So this is my program where I invite a business person to sit in the hot seat and we look at their use of social media. So it could be Facebook, Instagram, whatever social media platform they're using. And they talk me through what issues they're having, and I give do my best to give them some advice to help them along and to start making some progress. So I'm very happy to invite Ciara Heenahan, who is the first person to sit in the hot seat and the first person brave enough, and to invite Ciara onto the show today. And I'm going to start off by asking Ciara just to tell us a little bit about her background. So Ciara, you're very welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Thanks a million for having me, Louise. This is exciting. I do love a good hot seat. So my name is Ciara Heenahan and I'm from Westport, and I'm a mum of one, and I'm an entrepreneur, and I have my own business, and I do a lot of online coaching, and I work with clients who have been through trauma and the fallout that comes from that trauma. So I might be working with somebody who's very lacking in confidence or self-esteem, self-love, or I might be working with somebody who wants to make a plan moving forward and just doesn't have the tools or the skills to do it.
Like, how do you sell your services? How do you define what those services are, and how do you roll them out, and where are your customers?
So that's a funny one. I think for the last 2 years, I've been doing what I would consider a lot of groundwork. I would use the saying a lot, I didn't know what I didn't know. And so every single day almost, I'm learning something that I need to put in place. So at the minute, it's trying to figure out what the right thing to do is to be in the right place for the right people who need what I offer. But that's what 2020 is really and truly all about.
Okay. So tell me, what social media platforms do you use, and how have you found that to date?
Okay, so I have Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Now, on my Facebook, I love Facebook because it's a great place that you can go live. You know, you can go in there and you can chat to people, and you can find out what they need, and then you can give them that in a lovely live format, so they're face to face with you, so they see the real version of you. I like that. Instagram, I've only started doing stories in the last while, and I used to be more scared of LinkedIn than I was of Instagram, and now I'm scared of Instagram and not LinkedIn, and it's just the weirdest feeling. But across all three platforms, I would have more engagement on Facebook than I do on the other two.
Okay. So I've had the liberty of having a look around your Facebook page, and I've also had a look at your Facebook ads. It's just to kind of see what you were doing. So I have some suggestions which I recommend that you put in place, Ciara. So first of all, this is your Facebook page here. Hang on, I'm just going to share the screen. So that's fine. So this is your Facebook page here, Ciara. And so first things first, you've done a lot of good work on it. So well done on that. You're a bit further along than some people are, but I do have some suggestions, first of all, on how you can improve branding and positioning on the page. Here is your profile picture. So you've chosen to use your headshot for this, and that's fine. So for a solopreneur, somebody working by themselves, you would either use your profile, a photograph, or you'd use your logo. So you've chosen to use your photograph, which is fine because you want people to know who you are. Your cover image, I think you could do a little bit more with. So I would recommend that a video cover image works really, really well, because what you can do is you can communicate in an instant or in a few instants what it is you're about and how you are different. So that is something that I recommend that you do. I use wave.video. I find it really, really easy to use. And that's on a PC, but you will find also apps on your phone which may do the same thing for you. So what I want to see is just images and videos of you. So as much of you as possible, because people are buying into you and they need to trust you and learn all about you, and that is going to endear them to you. I see here as well, you've got your story. Again, I feel I'm missing you from this image.
Okay.
I would even like to see a photograph of you, another photograph of you which complements either your video cover or your profile. And even something that shows you kind of working, or maybe teaching a group, or working on a one-to-one or on a Zoom call with somebody, something like that would work well. I also think that you can do a little bit more with your story. You've got it nicely formatted in that you have bullet points, but you could actually add, like you can, if I come to edit story, I can actually do things like create headings and subheadings. So if I wanted to make that, so it just makes things stand out a little bit more. And as well as that, you can include, if you wanted to, you could include little images as well throughout the text. So so if you found something like that, you could. Now I'm going to discard these changes, but you get the idea there. So just to make that easier to read. And the reason that I'm really stress to people that they work with their story is that when you get the attention of somebody who's noticed your content, or who's noticed a post that you've published, or who's noticed an ad that you're getting in front of them, one of the things that they're going to do if they're interested in finding out more is they're going to visit your page. And so that's why you need to hit them straight away with a very strong message here and a very strong message here, and you need to have your about section completed as well. I love the fact that you have your services listed. Okay, that's really good. You can add an image to each one of those as well, and if you wanted to have a price as well, that's something. So at least you're very clear on what it is that you're offering, because sometimes what I find with business is that if you're not clear what it is you're offering, well, your potential customer hasn't a hope of knowing what you're about. So I can see that you've that work then, and that's good. What I would also like to see is events. Now I can see that you ran a good few events last year. What I'd like you to aim to do, Ciara, is to plan your events for this year, those that you're pretty sure about right now, and get them up there.
Okay.
So I think what happens is that your lead time into the events is too short, and that you're not giving yourself enough time. You're not giving yourself enough time to fill the events. Okay, so I'd like to see those events. So if somebody like that, you catch somebody's attention, or maybe you caught their attention for the last event that you ran in December, but maybe that date didn't suit them, and maybe they're back visiting your page right now because they need help right now, and then they could potentially be looking for an event that's coming up. So I would get those in place as quickly as possible. Now, the next thing I'm going to say to you is, for the events that you are running, for the services that you are offering, I would like you to sit down and if you haven't done so already, to be very clear about the goals that you want to achieve for each one of those services. So how many sales of those services, how many new clients do you want to attract? If you're running an event, what is the capacity? What did you fill last time? What do you want to fill this time? And then what I want you to do, Ciara, is I want you to think of your campaigns for each event in terms of a 6 to 8 week lead time.
Okay.
So you're running an event at the end of March, that you're starting to planning and working on the content for that right now. Because when I had a look through the posts on your page, and when I had a look through the ads in your ad account, what became clear to me was that you were trying to kind of do the warming them up and the selling them all at the same time.
Yeah, okay.
So when I looked at the ads, I could see that you're doing lovely video content where you're chatting to people, but then you're trying to sell to them immediately.
Okay.
So what we need to think is that somebody needs to hear from us between 9 and 18 times before they'll consider doing, coming on one of our courses or signing up to something that we do. And so what I need you to think about is that for the 6 to 8 weeks in the lead up to every event that you run, you've got to plan at least 6 to 8 pieces of really meaty video content. And that it's not, that it's something that, try and think outside the box on this. Now, this is something I could work with you on, strategize with you on at a later stage. But you kind of need to think, like, what can I do to really capture the attention of my ideal customer? And so I would think you possibly need to go beyond a little bit just the chatting into the screen, because you need to stop them in their tracks. So what I would say is what is the event about? Who's ideally going to help? What are the problems that they're having now? And can you plan 6 to 8 pieces of meaty content that either you or somebody else produces and that you get that in front of them. And you use that to warm them up over the 2 months or whatever it is, longer if you can, even period. Okay, because the people that you're warming up now mightn't come to the next event, but they might go to the event after, the next one after that.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so you need to plan your consideration content, and then you need to build your warmer audiences. The second thing that I found as well, Ciara, and I'm just going to go on to your ads.
This is awesome. Oh my God. Like,
okay, so this is an ad that I saw that you were running. So this is an example of where you're giving nice, valuable advice and giving really good nuggets of help to people. But then you see here the description is just about an event and it's excitement mounting for this. So this is what I mean by trying to warm somebody up and sell to them at exactly the same time.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And I would plan for warming them up and then selling to them.
Okay.
Okay, so again, so that's a whole campaign. So as I said, 6 weeks, 8 weeks of nice, meaty content. And so what we're going to do is warm them up first and then sell to them afterwards. So here's so you can see, and what happens when you have a video like this where you are imparting some really good advice. What is going to help people to click in and watch it is the description. So the description is as important as the video content, because you got to say something here that's going to get them watching here. And I know I've given you this advice before, but you need to get to the point fairly rapidly in the video because so many people are going to fall away. So I'm going to show you something interesting to look at here now, Ciara. So this is okay. So I'm just going to go into performance, and I am going to customize the columns, and I am going to go into media, and I am going to ask to get information on 25%, 50, 75, 90%, and videos at 100%. This then allows us to see how long people watched the video. Okay. So now we have some information. So we can see that this costs 30 euros, okay? And that for that, there was 4,612 3-second plays. 229 people watched 25% of the video. 86 people watched 50% of the video. 50 people watched 75% of the video, 37 people watched 95% of the video, and 29 people watched 100% of the video.
Okay.
So what you do here is you got to try different tactics when you're creating content. So you try different ways of introing your video to see if you can get people to grip them and catch them for longer. So that means different intros, different videos, descriptions. And then you tune into these stats every single time and you see what's working and you see how you can improve. So if you have 6 to 8 weeks of meaty content that you are really getting as many through plays or as many plays as possible, then you can remarket your sales content to those people. So that's the one thing that I took out of the ads that you were running, is that you were trying to run the sales content and the warming them up content at the same time, but your targeting was all of really, really large, cold, saved audiences rather than custom audiences.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so I am just going to summarize. I am going to summarize on the advice that I have given you. So number 1, improve branding and positioning of your channel. Create Facebook events right now throughout the whole year. Be clear on your goals. When you're running events, allow yourself a 6 to 8 week run-in for every event. And you got to plan your content, nice meaty content, where you're warming people up for that period of time, and then you try and sell to them at the end. So you're building warm audiences for remarketing ads. And then what you need to do is just tuning into your insights and seeing what's working. So I just also want to talk to you about my workbook. This is my workbook that I've launched just in January 2020. And this workbook will help you work through how to create a content marketing plan. The workbook, the first half of it takes you through step by step how to create a content marketing strategy. So it will literally prompt you with questions and you fill in the workbook. It's a fully editable workbook. You fill in the workbook as you're going along, and that then helps you to create this content plan. And then after that, there's a 12-month calendar. So there's lots of prompts to help you along the way. And here's an example of the calendars themselves. So, if you're looking for ideas, like Stress Awareness Week is the 2nd of November. So there again, straight away in what you do, you could be thinking, can I do something special for that week? Or there's another one here, International Day for Tolerance is another one. So straight away you can start seeing ideas for content, for your business. But the whole calendar is packed full of nice ideas like that. And that's available for sale on my website, sellonsocial.media, and it's just $9.99. So that is it, Kira. Thank you so much for taking the hot seat. If you can take those steps on board and for a few months, see how you get on, and when you're ready to come back in the hot seat, or when you're ready to give us some feedback, I'd love to chat to you again.
Well, I'm an action taker, so when I go home this evening, I'll start doing things straight away. I really appreciate it. God, you've given so much information, and as you're saying things, it makes so much sense. I feel like I've been throwing everything at it, but not really sure what to do. So it definitely makes an awful lot of sense. I appreciate that. Thanks a million.
You're welcome. Okay, thanks so much, Kira.
Thanks a lot, Louise. Have a great day.
Same to you. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.